Today's topic: why your brain believes the first thing it hears, the psychology of anchoring bias. Imagine you're shopping for a new pair of headphones. The first price you see is 25,000. A few seconds later, another pair appears for 12,000. Suddenly, 12,000 feels like an incredible bargain. But stop for a moment. Did your brain decide that 12,000 was actually cheap? Or did it simply compare it to the first number it saw? This tiny mental shortcut influences the way we shop, negotiate salaries, judge people, and even make life changing decisions. Psychologists call it anchoring bias, and once you notice it, you'll see it everywhere. Welcome to Purple Mind. Today, we are uncovering one of the most powerful psychological shortcuts your brain uses every day. It helps you make quick decisions, but it can also quietly manipulate the choices you make. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the first number opinion or impression you encounter often shapes everything that follows and how to think more clearly. Point 1. Why the brain uses anchors. Your brain processes an enormous amount of information every second. If it carefully analyzed every decision from scratch, you'd become mentally exhausted. So instead, it uses mental shortcuts known as heuristics. Anchoring bias is one of these shortcuts. When your brain receives the first piece of information, it unconsciously treats it as a reference point. Even if that information is completely random, from that point onward, every new piece of information is compared to the anchor. The surprising part, we usually don't realize it's happening. Point 2. Famous experiment. Psychologists Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman demonstrated this effect in a famous experiment. Participants watch a wheel spin to a random number. Afterward, they were asked whether the percentage of African countries in the United States nations was higher or lower than that random number. Then they estimated the actual percentage. The random number had nothing to do with the question. Yet people who saw higher numbers consistently gave higher estimates. Those who saw lower numbers gave lower estimates. A completely unrelated number influenced their judgment. This showed that our minds often cling to the first information we encounter even when it's meaningless. Point 3. Where you experience it every day. Anchoring bias isn't limited to psychology experiments. You experience it almost every day. Retail stores display a higher original price before showing a discount. Negotiators often make the first offer because it sets the anchor for the entire discussion. Restaurants place very expensive items at the top of the menu, making the rest seem more affordable. Even in conversations, the first opinion you hear about a person can influence how you interpret everything they do afterward. Your brain constantly compares rather than evaluates from scratch. Point 4. How to avoid being tricked. The good news is that awareness makes a difference. Before making an important decision, ask yourself, if I had never seen the first number or heard the first opinion, would I still think the same way? Comparing multiple resources, pause before deciding, question your first impression. The goal isn't to eliminate mental shortcuts. That's impossible. The goal is to recognize when they are quietly influencing you. Your brain isn't broken, it's efficient. Anchoring bias exists because your mind is trying to make decisions quickly. But quick decisions aren't always accurate ones. The next time you see a huge discount, hear someone's opinion, or make an important choice. Remember this: the first thing you hear isn't always the truth. Sometimes it's just the anchor. If this video changed the way you think, subscribe to Purpamind, where we explore the psychology behind everyday life, one fascinating idea at a time. Thank you for watching.